the first of 4 matches tonight. And we start with the man who main evented the debut show here at the Phoenix Theater. Him and Virgil had themselves a very great match.
Great match.
At the debut show, they really wowed this crowd.
Perfect kind of main event for the debut inaugural PPW show. And Marcus has kind of been looked at as almost the poster boy so far of Phoenix Pro Wrestling. He's gotten the North Bay Bohemian cover. He's gotten a lot of build-up. The fans are obviously way into him.
But you want to talk about a guy who's gotten exposure. The man he faces tonight put himself on the map WrestleMania weekend with a phenomenal showing at the 2015 King of Indies tournament. And Marcus Flynn will have to deal with Mr. Athletic himself, Jeff Cobb.
Jeff Cobb has been a known guy in the North Bay area for the last year and a half.
A 2008 participant for Guam, the Olympics, and he has had himself quite the month leading up to this. As I mentioned, his King of Indies showing. He got to the semifinals before facing Willie Mack, and Donovan, watch out. And this will be your archetypal power versus speed matchup here.
Well, as you said, Cobb really made a name for himself since the last Phoenix Pro Wrestling show. He's been a known commodity in the Northern California wrestling scene for the last year plus, but hasn't ventured outside of California too far. He's done Reno, but not East Coast. Well, this past weekend exposed him to the nation and all the WWN events.
A show of respect by him and Marcus Lewis. We should have a very nice start to this tournament as Lewis. Well, I'm not sure how successful he's going to be trying to go behind on Jeff Cobb. And
working a grappling or mat game against Cobb immediately puts you at a disadvantage.
Cobb has about 85 pounds on Marcus Lewis, and Lewis knows. Him and Virgil Flynn, they had actually a pretty nice little start to their match where they worked the mat, and Lewis knows how to get down, but he's going to have to do a lot more.
Lewis can go on the mat, and they say that once you get on the mat, everybody's the same size. But when you're 80 pounds up and the guy you're supposedly the same size with is literally an Olympic pro wrestler, it's a huge gap to overcome.
The crowd really getting behind it here. Great crowd on hand at the Phoenix Theater, our second show after our debut show in November. And you can see right there, Jeff Cobb is using that strength advantage he has to force Lewis into the corner. And you're going to get a clean break. And now he's going to try and go after him, but Lewis has that speed to get out of the way, and Cobb acknowledges, well, you have to be careful about that.
Cobb is a guy with speed for his size.
He is one of the most agile guys for a man his size that you'll see.
When you compare his speed directly to Marcus Lewis, it's no contest. Lewis is going to outrun him every time.
244 pounds, and that arm wringer using all that force to bring Lewis down to the mat. And now he's got that wrist lock applied. And he's going to ring it one more.
Look at the base on Cobb.
Oh, wow.
Look at the legs that he's working with to drive Lewis into the ground here.
Takes him down by his shoulder. Now Lewis is going to try and flip out, and he does. Lewis has some big-time supporters in the crowd tonight. After what he did in November, Virgil Flynn, the main event of this show. And now you can see the double leg, and he's going to place Lewis up on the top turnbuckle. And Cobb again, a little playful slap to the face. And Lewis probably thinking that Cobb is, considering him almost easy peasy here in this opener.
It always seems dangerous to me to play down to your opponent like that. You're doing nothing but giving them something to motivate them. These guys are motivated enough already. They don't need anything else helping them fight.
Cobb catches him, picks him up, slams him down. Lewis trying to kick out those hamstrings, but Cobb, very muscular, 244 pounds, and that's hard to do. And wow, he lit him up.
That was a thud. The problem for Lewis going forward in this match, if he continues to try and fight in a phone booth with Cobb, I just don't see that ever working out. The grip strength and the throw strength that Cobb possesses, if you're close to him anywhere near his wheelhouse.
Whoa, Lewis has him by the throat. That is surprising, but you can't do that with Jeff Cobb. Is that elbow right to the jaw.
Exactly what I was saying about trying to get in close to Cobb. It's not something that I just think you should do.
Sent in, and he finds the boot, and now another elbow, and Cobb, we have seen him operate from up top before. For a guy his size, he has elite athleticism, and looking like he's going to go for that superplex. And look at the power.
Look at the balance.
And one arm, the delayed superplex. Just one of the impressive things that you see on a regular basis for the man they call Mr. Athletic, our first cover of the evening, and a 2 count.
The strength and the balance and the muscle control on Cobb is like few pro wrestlers I've ever witnessed.
So Lewis is getting himself into some bad spots here as he actually is able to flip out of that. His knee might have been messed up, and now he's having some issues with Cobb, it looks like. And he's going to want to go toe-to-toe. And, well, 85 pounds is a lot to be given up.
It's
again.
A big disadvantage to overcome. And Lewis is taking it to him. Lewis is insisting on staying in close, bringing strikes to him.
Oh, my goodness! A headbutt directly to the chest. And Jeff Cobb ends any entertainment of Marcus Lewis standing toe-to-toe with him. And that running European uppercut.
Well, I keep wondering why Lewis is fighting so tight with Cobb, and it's almost like Cobb is just giving him reasons to not continue doing that, as if what's it's going to take to stop Lewis and to stop, for him to stop bringing it to Cobb's face.
2 count off of that pump handle, overhead suplex, and now a standing shooting star, too. And that almost did it. That's a man I remember telling you many times, 244 pounds, the athleticism to a standing shooting star press.
So many guys that can do a standing shooting star these days are more the size of Marcus Lewis. When you get a guy 244 pounds like Cobb, and his chest and his body is coming down on you in that motion, it's going to take so much more out of you than a smaller man doing it.
And you can hear it when Cobb is making his shots towards Lewis, they are thudding him. And Lewis trying to knock the big man down with the clothesline, but not getting too far. Trying it again with a little bit more momentum behind it. Cobb is staggered. Does he have another one? And he does, and this time Cobb's off the ropes, and a drop kick knocks the big man down.
Lewis played that perfect. It's like Lewis knew exactly when Cobb was going to spring back. And I like the immediacy of Marcus Lewis in this. I don't know how many other guys would have still come back and fought that close to Cobb after taking that Zidane headbutt to the chest.
Well, you want to talk about lighting someone up. He is taking it to Cobb. A knee right to the face. He'll try to cover here, his first of the match, a 2 count. Marcus Lewis now feels he has to throw everything he can at the man they call Mr. Athletic, and he's pointing to the turnbuckles, and that's where Marcus Lewis likes to operate.
And one thing I like about our whole tournament not taking place on one show is that these guys can exert themselves more because they know they aren't going to have to fight in 2 more matches tonight. They can lay it out there.
A drop kick from the second rope, and Cobb presses Lewis up to his feet. The show of strength by Mr. Athletic, and now Lewis is going to try and chop him down with some kicks to the chest, and Cobb taking him. Looked like the knee might have caught him in the face. And now Cobb rolls him up into a schoolboy. 2, but only a 2 count. Cobb now at the gut wrench. Sets him up over his shoulder. What does he have planned for Marcus Lewis here? Lewis is going to slip out. And a big elbow, and that
Huge elbow.
rocked
Every
Cobb.
elbow he's thrown's gotten bigger than the previous one.
And there, a European uppercut. Lewis doing his work to try and stagger Cobb, and it's been working. Uh-oh, Cobb's caught. He might be going for his move. No, he's going to go for the overhead slam.
Oh.
The launch of Marcus Lewis. I thought he might have been setting up for a tour of the islands.
Every other fall-away slam I've seen, the guy goes more of a line drive away from the opponent. I've never seen somebody toss a guy straight up.
It's a vertical version.
A vertical fall-away slam.
Oh, that fall-away
Just
slam.
ridiculous.
Now he's going to send Lewis in. Lewis is going to hold himself up. Cobb's going to catch him with a couple of elbows. You're going to hear those thuds. Those are audible
right
thuds. And now Cobb thinks it's over. He's readying for perhaps a power bomb or maybe a pile driver, but Lewis is kicking his way free, and that's just a big right hand to the jaw. And a kick to the hamstring. Sets Cobb down to his knees.
Cobb's legs could be knotting up.
And now
he's been dropping down to his knees earlier and earlier every kick.
Lewis trying it again, and Cobb sets him up, and he presses him up into a tour of the islands. What a setup, and that is without a doubt over.
Wow.
Jeff Cobb is on to the semifinals. That is how you move on.
That's
Lewis.
how you make an impression right there. The most dangerous thing about Cobb's strength is it's literally something that can finish a match at any time.
And Marcus Lewis took it right to Jeff Cobb. And Jeff Cobb going over to help Lewis up because Lewis definitely gave him a battle in this quarterfinal matchup to determine the next and first Phoenix Pro Wrestling Champion.
I like this.
What a way to start things off. And Marcus Lewis, I think he has his favorite in this tournament. And what else can you say about Jeff Cobb? But he is impressive as it gets, and that belt might very well look good around his waist.
It's a big belt. There's not many guys whose waist it'll be able to hold up.
Jeff Cobb, very impressive. The man who was the breakout star of King of the Indies really made a name for himself. And he's coming over to look at the board, and he likes that he's going to the finals. He's calling it now.